On March 10th, 1876, a man knocked over a bottle of acid. Without thinking, he shouted for simple words, "Mr. Watson, come here." But this was not just a cry for help. It was the first sentence ever heard through a wire. Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I hope you are having a peaceful day. Today I want to tell you a true story. It is a story about sound, about love, and about silence. He taught the deaf. He loved a woman who could not hear, but he gave the world a new voice. Can you imagine speaking and someone far away hears you? His name was Alexander Graham Bell. If you enjoy stories like this, please like and subscribe to Epic Story English. Our story begins far away, in a city called Edinburgh in Scotland. The year was 1847. This was a cold and beautiful place, full of old stone streets. And in one of these houses, a baby boy was born. His name was Alexander, but everyone in the family called him Alec. From the very first day, sound was everywhere in his home. His father was a teacher. He taught people how to speak clearly. He studied the human voice. He studied the lips, the mouth, and the throat. In this family, the voice was not just for talking. The voice was a science. The voice was a kind of music. Young Alec loved this music. He loved the sound of the piano. He loved the songs of birds. He loved the wind in the trees. He could sit for hours and just listen to the world. But there was one person in his life who lived in a different world. That person was his mother. Her name was Eliza, and Eliza could not hear. His mother was deaf. The world was full of sound, but his mother lived in silence. Think about this for a moment. A house full of voices, a house full of music, and the woman he loved most could not hear any of it. This made young Alec very sad, but it also made him curious. He did not want to leave his mother alone in her silent world, so he found a special way to talk to her. Other people spoke to Eliza very loudly. They shouted into a tube near her ear. But Alec did something different. He came very close to his mother. He put his mouth near her forehead, and he spoke in a low, soft voice. He believed she could feel the sound in her bones. He believed the words could travel through her body. And it worked. His mother understood him. This was a small thing, but it was also a very big thing, because in that moment, a question was born inside the young boy. If sound can travel through a body, where else can sound travel? Can sound travel through wood? Can sound travel through metal? Can sound travel through a long, long wire? Alec did not know the answer yet. He was just a boy. He had no money. He had no machine. He had only a question and a dream. But this question would follow him for the rest of his life. It would become the great work of his life. And it all started here, with a boy who loved sound and a mother who lived in silence. Before we continue, I have a small question for you. Do you think our childhood shapes our future? Type 1 in the comments if you believe our early life decides who we become. Type 0 if you think we can change our path at any time. I would love to read your answer. The years passed, and the boy named Alec became a young man. But life was not kind to his family. His 2 brothers became sick and died. His parents were heartbroken. They wanted a new start, far from the sadness. So the family moved across the ocean, first to Canada, and then to a busy American city called Boston. Boston was a city of schools and new ideas. And here, Alexander found his true calling. He became a teacher. But he was not a normal teacher. He became a teacher for children who could not hear. He became a teacher for the deaf. Now you can understand why this work was so special to him. He remembered his mother. He remembered her silent world. And now, every day, he tried to bring sound and words to children just like her. Alexander was a wonderful teacher. He was kind. He was patient. He was full of energy. He taught the children how to feel sounds. He taught them how to make words with their mouths. He gave them hope, and the children loved him. But teaching was hard work. During the day, he taught his students, and late at night, he worked on his dream. He still remembered the old question from his childhood: can sound travel through a wire? So at night, while the city slept, Alexander did his experiments. He was always tired. He was often poor, but he never stopped. Then, one day, something happened that changed his heart forever. He met a young woman. Her name was Mabel Hubbard. Mabel was beautiful, smart, and brave. She had become deaf as a small child after a terrible sickness. She could not hear a single sound. Mabel first came to Alexander as a student. He helped her learn to speak. He helped her read lips. But slowly, something more grew between them. Alexander fell in love. He fell deeply in love with Mabel. And here we see the true heart of our story. The man who would build a machine for sound was in love with a woman who lived in silence. Think about how that must have felt. He could play her no music. He could whisper to her, but she could not hear his voice. He loved her words, but she could never hear his. For most people, this would be a sad ending, but for Alexander, it became a reason to work harder, a reason to dream bigger. He did not just want to send a voice through a wire for money. He did not just want to be famous. He wanted to understand sound completely. He wanted to help people like his mother. He wanted to help people like Mabel. His love and his work became one and the same. Every wire, every machine, every long and lonely night was, in a quiet way, a gift. It was a gift for the people he loved most. He wanted to give the silent world a voice. He wanted to give Mabel the world of sound. But a dream alone is not enough. To build a machine, Alexander needed help. He needed a pair of skilled hands. And so he found a young man named Thomas Watson. Thomas was clever. He was good with tools and wires and metal. The two men became a perfect team. Alexander had the ideas. Thomas could build them. Together, they worked in a small workshop in Boston. It was a simple place. It was hot in the summer and cold in the winter. But inside that little room, something amazing was happening. Day after day, night after night, the two men tried to send sound through a wire. At first, they did not try to send a voice. That seemed impossible. Instead, Alexander worked on something called the harmonic telegraph. In those days, people already had the telegraph. The telegraph could send short signals through a wire. Click, click, click. But it could only send simple dots and lines. It could not send a human voice. Alexander wanted to send musical notes through the wire. He believed that if he could send many sounds at once, then one day, maybe he could send a voice. But the work was very slow. The machines did not work. The wires broke. The sound were weak. Many people laughed at him. They told him his idea was foolish. They said the human voice could never travel through a wire. And Alexander was not the only one chasing this dream. Far away, another inventor named Elisha Gray was working on the very same idea. It was a quiet race. Two men in two cities, both trying to catch the same dream. Alexander did not have much money. He did not have much time. But he had Mabel waiting for him. He had his mother in his heart, and he had Thomas by his side. So he kept going. Then one day, something strange happened in the workshop. Thomas was in one room. Alexander was in another. They were testing a machine with a thin metal piece called a reed. Suddenly, the reed got stuck. Thomas pulled it to make it free. And in the other room, Alexander heard something. He heard the soft sound of the reed travel down the wire. It was a tiny sound. It was almost nothing. But for Alexander, it was everything. In that moment, he knew if a small sound could travel through a wire, then a voice could travel too. His old childhood question was finally getting an answer. He ran to Thomas, full of joy. The dream was no longer just a dream. It was close now, so close he could almost hear it. They worked harder than ever. They knew they were standing at the edge of something new, something that would change the world forever. They just needed one more step. They needed the machine to carry a real human voice. They needed it to carry words. And so we come to the most famous day in our story. It was the 10th of March in the year 1876. It was an ordinary day in Boston, but it will become a day the whole world remembers. Alexander and Thomas were ready to try again. This time, they had a new machine. This machine was made to carry a voice, a real human voice. The plan was simple. Alexander would speak into the machine in one room. Thomas would listen in another room, far down the wire. The two rooms were not close. Thomas could not hear Alexander's normal voice through the wall. If he heard anything, it would only come through the wire. Everything was ready. The wires were connected. The machine was waiting. Alexander leaned close to the machine, and then something went wrong. On the table near him was some acid. This acid was part of the experiment. But Alexander was not careful. His hand moved too fast, and the acid spilled. It spilled onto his clothes. It began to burn. The pain was sharp, and it was real. In that sudden moment of pain and surprise, Alexander forgot about science. He forgot about his careful plans. He just called for his friend. He spoke into the machine and said, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." These were simple words. They were not poetry. They were not a grand speech. They were just a man calling for help. But these simple words would change history forever. Because in the other room, far down the wire, Thomas Watson heard them. He heard a voice. He heard a clear human voice coming out of the machine. The words were not loud, but they were real. They were perfect. Thomas could not believe his ears. He did not even worry about the acid. He dropped everything. He ran. He ran down the hall, his heart beating fast. He burst into the room where Alexander was standing, and he shouted with joy, "I heard you. I heard your words." For a moment, the two men just looked at each other. The pain of the acid did not matter now. The long, cold nights did not matter. The years of failure did not matter, because it had finally happened. A human voice had traveled through a wire. For the first time in all of history, a man had spoken, and another man far away had heard him through a machine. Think about that moment. Two friends in a small workshop, a little acid on the floor, and four simple words. "Mr. Watson, come here." In that moment, the silent world began to speak. The dream of a deaf woman's husband had come true. The world would never be the same again. After that day, the world began to change very quickly. At first, only a few people believed in the telephone. They thought it was just a toy. They thought it was a trick. But Alexander did not stop. He showed his machine to more and more people. He took it to a great exhibition where thousands of people came to see new inventions. When important men picked up the telephone and heard a voice from far away, their faces filled with shock. They could not understand it. A voice with no person there. It felt like magic. But it was not magic. It was science. It was years of hard work. Finally talking back. Slowly, people stopped laughing. Slowly, they began to believe. There is one more thing you must know about that race. Remember Elisha Gray, the other inventor? On the very same day Alexander sent his papers to protect his idea, Gray sent his papers too. But Alexander was just a few hours faster. Just a few hours. Think about that. The whole history of the telephone changed by only a few hours. That is how close it was. History often turns on such small moments. Soon, the telephone was no longer a toy. It became one of the most important machines in the world. Wires began to cross cities. Then they crossed countries. Then they crossed the wide ocean. People who lived far apart could now hear each other's voices. A mother could hear her son. A friend could call a friend. Bad news and good news could now travel in seconds, not weeks. The world suddenly felt smaller and warmer. Voices could now fly over mountains and seas in a single moment. Something that was once impossible had become a part of normal life. And what about Alexander's own heart? He did not forget the woman he loved. Alexander married Mabel, the deaf student who had captured his heart. She became his wife and his greatest supporter. Together they built a happy life and a loving family. The man who gave the world its voice found his own quiet happiness with a woman who lived in silence. But Alexander never became a lazy, rich man. Money did not stop him. He kept working for the rest of his life. And he never forgot where his heart began. He never forgot the deaf. He spent many years helping people who could not hear. He opened schools. He taught teachers. In fact, Alexander cared so much about this because that he used much of his fame and money to help deaf people everywhere. There is a beautiful story that connects him to another famous person. Do you know the name Helen Keller? She was a young girl who could not see and could not hear. It was Alexander who helped her family find the right teacher for her. So the man who built the telephone also helped open the world for a little blind and deaf girl. His kindness traveled just as far as his machines. From a small workshop in Boston, his work had spread across the whole earth. The boy who once spoke into his mother's forehead had given a voice to all of humanity. And so we reached the end of our story. But the story of Alexander Graham Bell never truly ends. Every single day, his dream lives on. Every time you call someone you love, you are using his gift. Every time a voice travels across the world, his work is alive. Think about his life for a moment. He was a boy who loved sound. He was the son of a mother who could not hear. He was the husband of a woman who lived in silence. And from all that love, he gave the whole world the power to speak across any distance. His life teaches us something simple and beautiful. The greatest inventions do not come from money. They come from love. They come from patience. They come from a heart that wants to help others. They come from never giving up on a dream. And my friend, this is true for you too. Right now, you are doing something brave. You are learning English, one word at a time. Maybe it feels slow. Maybe it feels hard. But remember Alexander. He failed many times before he heard that first voice. So do not give up. Keep going. Every word you learn is a small victory. One word, one sound, one small step at a time. Now I have a question for you. If you could call any person in all of history, who would you call? Type 1 in the comments if you would call someone from the past. Type 0 if you would call someone in your own life today. I would truly love to read your answers. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this story. If this story touched your heart, please give a like and subscribe to Epic Story English. So keep learning, keep listening, and keep enjoying. I will see you in the next story.